Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. The topic I want to talk about today is not helping a Filipina's family. Should you feel guilty about not helping Filipina's family? Well, let's talk about that because it's going to come up. I've been married 7 years to my Filipina wife. We got married in 2015, very short relationship. You check the Linktree link above, you can see where I met her. I wrote a book that helps detail, the first 6 years of marriage and things you would need to know. Money, money, money. Always have to talk about that. But then there's feelings of, not wanting to help, feeling guilty if you don't, feeling like if you do help that you really didn't want to, and that's never a good thing. So let's talk today about how you feel about giving money to Filipina's family, not necessarily to her, but her family. I would hope you would want to help the Filipina, especially after you're married, because before marriage, I would say don't help financially. There's no reason to. That's a really bad idea. You might say, well, I can afford to. It's nothing to me. Well, of course, proportionally, what you don't miss can really do her a lot of good. But unless your goal is to buy a wife, I wouldn't do that. She can earn money herself. She can get a job. She can get a job with hours she doesn't like. She can get a job she doesn't like. At least long enough to have money for a load for her phone, or to buy a phone, or to provide her necessities. A lot of the women, if you haven't noticed, when you're communicating with them online, they live at home. It's not like you're dating somebody in America. They're certainly not going to be living at home. They're going to have their own place, their own rent, expensive rent, their own car payment, and all of those costs. But that's not really how it is. But if she just needs enough to get by, and that's often the goal, she can go out and work. I don't think you want to marry somebody that, well, again, I can't tell anybody what to do, but I think the right choice of a wife isn't going to take your money if you offered it to her, and because she doesn't want you to think she's helpless, and she's not going to ask you for it. But as far as her, then that's before marriage. You certainly wouldn't want to help her family and there may be legitimate needs, your mother, father, siblings, nieces, nephews. But I think you have to say no. Now, if it's after marriage, families help. Of course, you're going to help your Filipino wife. That's a given. But her family, after you're married, I think you should help. It's good for your Filipino wife. You are her provider, and I think that goes beyond just her basic needs, because with a woman from a poor country, it's going to be different. She's going to have relatives, like parents at least, that she's going to want to support. And I think you have to accept that right at the start. Now, if you can't help her family, you just, whatever, in a situation where you just are literally unable to, all you have is what you need to survive day to day, the rent, the food, utilities. Well, that's one thing. If you won't help her family, we're not talking, $50,000 or $100,000, but if you won't help, I think that's a problem, and I want to say that. If you won't help, yeah, you probably should, feel guilty, and more than guilt, because this is the dynamic in the Philippines. She's going to have family members that need help. If she's wealthier, she's not going to be interested in you, because she'll be interested in a Filipino, if she can find one. If she can't, she might be interested in a Westerner. If her family needs help, I think you should help. Don't involve yourself with a Filipina if you go into it thinking, well, I'm not going to help her family. That's none of my business. That's her problem, not mine. Well, that's not the type of husband she wants to marry. If you can't help her family a little bit, maybe it's, a couple $100 here, or maybe it's $500 or $1,000 for something a little bit more expensive, then I would just tell her, and she'll decide if she wants to move on or not. It's like me looking for a job, and I say, well, I'd really like to work here. Maybe I even have a degree, and I'd like to work for your company. And then the benefits package doesn't sound good to me. The pay isn't what I was expecting. There's other competitors, other jobs that can, offer me more. Well, that's obviously what I'm going to do. I don't owe them anything. So, both are looking to benefit in a foreigner-Filipina relationship. So let me know what you think about this. You might as well get upset with me before you get involved with a Filipina. Everyone's different. If you've been giving money and you're not getting taken advantage of, not getting scammed, well, that's great. But there's a big danger. You're giving money to her or her family before marriage. That's a big red flag. It signals to her that you're easy pickings, and you very well may get taken advantage of. Hopefully not. But guilty? Yeah, I would feel terribly guilty if my wife had a good idea and somebody needed $200 or $300, needed a sidecar. Those scooter sidecars, I think they're usually about $700, $800, $900 new. We've done that many times because it can help make more money because you've got more passengers. So just consider your overall financial situation. If you're in a better financial situation, you have a better chance with a Filipina. And when you're married, yeah, you got to help her, of course. But there's, in all likelihood, going to be needs for her parents who she really wants to take care of. They feel like they owe their parents. They brought them into the world, and they owe taking care of them. I know any talk about money with a Filipina or anyone else is a hot topic. People have strong feelings about it. I'm just trying to brace you for what you're getting into. You're going to have to learn to say no a lot. Your wife, if you marry a Filipina, is going to have to learn to say no a lot to her family. My wife works. She makes really good money. She works a lot, going to school too. So, she has more leeway. I'm not working right now. I'm living on savings. We're living on retirement and her money, but I still want to help because it's good for her. It's good for your marriage. So consider your overall situation financially. If you can improve it, that would be a good thing. Don't be stingy with a Filipina. She won't respect that. Let me know what you think. I know this is probably going to be a negative video for some. I'm just trying to be realistic. You should want to help her when you're married. You should want to help her family. If you can't, you have to say no, draw the line. But here's the thing, let her work and let her use that money for her family. Then it's less of an issue. So let me know what you think about this idea, helping Filipina's family here on Love Beyond the Sea.